I'm deeply sorry, Mr. Bryan.
It's all right, Doctor. I already knew.
You have at least 9 months left, perhaps as much as 18.
But the first doctor gave me from 1 to 2 years.
I hope he's right. What are you going to do?
Well, I have no family. Haven't taken a day off since law school. Guess I'll try to squeeze 30 years of living into 1 or 2.
It isn't hopeless, Mr. Bryan. Research is being done, and you'll be in good health until the last few weeks. So always let us know where you are.
Hoping you'd say that.
Does that mean you want the special?
I want the special.
Special on 1. Coffee, tea, or milk?
How's the coffee?
Hot. really farther than you're going. My car broke down a couple of miles back. I've been trying to get a lift. And I turned down the only offer I got. It was some man, kind of creepy looking, like he sold embalming fluid or something. Is something wrong?
Well, it happens that I sell embalming fluid.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean... Oh, wow, for a minute there, you really had me believing that.
What's your name?
Kathy Sloan.
Mine's Paul Bryan.
Hi.
Where are you from?
Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm going home from visiting a girlfriend in Los Angeles.
How old are you? 15, 16?
I happen to be 19, if it's any of your business.
I'm afraid it is, because you look as if you happen to be 15.
Well, I'm 19, nearly 20.
You prove that, you have yourself a lift.
Do you think I carry a birth certificate with me or something?
Driver's license will do.
I don't have a driver's... Thank you very much for stopping for me, but I've decided I'll walk. Will you let me go? You've got no
Now,
right...
your car broke down, but I didn't pass a stalled car, and you have no driver's license.
All right. All right, I lied. I'm from Arcadia, and I don't own a car. But I am of legal age, which gives me a right to go wherever I want to go. So now you give me a lift to let me out.
Now, miss, there are two things I try to avoid. Wet feet and mixing in other people's business. Now, the law says that until you're 18, you're a child, and children have a claim on all responsible adults, whether the adults like it or not. Now, you go around hitching rides on highways, you're wide open to getting yourself killed or worse, and my conscience can't stand the strain.
What are you going to do?
Take you home, hand you over to your parents. Now, listen. You either go back to Arcadia like a lady, or you go back tied up like a cocker spaniel. Now, which will it be?
You're going to go to jail, do you know that? For kidnapping. Go ahead, laugh. But I happen to be an adult with rights, and there's such a thing called the Lindbergh Law.
Dr. Lewis says there's no need to be alarmed. He's with her now. This is Mr. Bryan, Henry.
What was my granddaughter doing in your car? Does she know you?
I found your granddaughter on the highway, hitching rides. I tried to bring her back, but she jumped out of the car while it was moving.
I find that rather hard to believe.
You can believe it.
How is she, Will?
She suffered a concussion, apparently a mild one. She'll have to remain in bed until I can get back here.
Did she tell you what happened?
Yes, she told me. Now I'll tell you. She was running away from home.
What?
Mr. Bryan could just as easily have left Kathy lying out there on the highway. Most men in his place would have done exactly that. Or worse, not try to bring her home at all.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
I hope this hasn't delayed you too much.
Oh, not at all. Matter of fact, I intend to stay in town overnight. Want to make sure she's all right before I move on.
Well, that won't be necessary.
I'm afraid I'm obligated to. Legally, I mean. And besides, since she really is 19, she may want to sue me.
You ever study law, young fella?
Just enough to stay out of trouble.
I know you won't mention any of this, Mr. Bryan. People would be bound to talk.
Don't you worry about anything, Mrs. Sloan. I happen to come from a long line of closed-mouthed people.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan.
the gun you're reaching for, Brian? Resisting an officer is against the law. What do you have to prove you're an officer? County Sheriff Ralph Trumbull. Your way of introducing yourself isn't easy on the nerves, Sheriff. I take an interest in strangers. It goes with my job. I thought I'd stop by and ask a question or two. All right with you? I guess so. You in Arcadia on some kind of business? No. Friends here? No. What line of work you in? At the moment, none. How long you plan to be with us? My plans aren't definite, Sheriff. Information doesn't exactly pour out of you, does it? Not when I see no reason to pour it. Got something to hide? Don't we all? I'll ask you again. How long are you planning to stay in Arcadia? What do you have to know? By your own admission, you have no visible means of support. Under the laws of this state, that makes you a vagrant, subject to arrest. No visible means isn't evidence of vagrancy, not in this or any other state. Brian, don't give me any jailhouse lawyer talk. I've got a job to do. When it calls for me to ask questions, I want answers. Simple, quick, and straight. Understand? Your job is to protect people's rights. You're violating mine. Now show me a warrant or get out of my car. I want you out of my town. First thing in the morning. Clear?
Kathy. Aren't they lovely?
You know, if you hadn't brought me those, I think I would have sued you.
The thought crossed my mind after I bought them. Goodbye, miss.
I don't think I'm well enough yet for you to leave town.
Now, wasn't it 5 minutes ago that you told me that in the opinion of Dr. Lewis, you were well enough to go out to dinner tonight?
Kathy, you didn't.
I certainly did.
I'm flattered.
Oh, Paul, must you leave today?
Well, I have a long drive ahead of me. I haven't even packed. Goodbye, Mrs. Sloan. Thank you for the breakfast. It reminded me of home.
My pleasure, Mr. Bryan.
Be good.
Bye, Paul.
Goodbye, Mr. Bryan.
Thank you. Come on in. Been waiting for you. In the closet. I gave you till this morning. What are you waiting for? Building to fall on you? Sheriff, you tell me what this is all about, and I'll answer your question. I have no questions. Just instructions from me to you. Move on. Has all this got anything to do with some people named Sloan? Why do you come to know the Sloans? Well, since they're obviously not involved, forget it. Sheriff, I've decided to cooperate with you. The answer to your question is, I intend to settle down here in Arcadia. I saw a mechanic wanted sign this morning at the Acme garage. I'm going to take the job. Okay, Sheriff? It's too late, mister. I'll see they don't hire you, them, or anyone else around here. Now, this makes twice I've told you goodbye. Don't make me say it again.
Yes, who's this?
Your friendly embalming fluid salesman.
Where are you calling from?
All the way from the Arcadia Hotel. I decided to stay a while.
Long enough to take me out to dinner?
I'll think about it. For a second or two. Are you sure the doctor said it's all right for you to go out?
Honestly, he did.
I'll pick you up at 8.
7:30?
Make it 7.
I'll be ready. Goodbye, Paul. Just don't see giving up a perfectly good job to go batting around the country. You must have a flaw in your character or something.
Well, I started out batting around Europe. But people kept asking me questions I couldn't answer about America. So I decided to come back and take a look at it. Off the main highway.
I'm glad you did. Are you taking me home?
Well, your grandmother said a reasonable hour. Doctor's orders.
10 o'clock is not a reasonable hour. There's a side road up ahead. Turn left and keep going till you get to the river. You needn't look at me like that. I'm not planning to seduce you. Any questions?
You know what my trouble is?
Oh, I'd love to know what your trouble is.
I just can't make myself believe you're nearly 20.
I could run home and get my birth certificate. Paul, take me with you.
With me where?
St. Louis, Chicago. You said yourself you're heading that way. Well, you owe me that much. I'd have been halfway there if you hadn't dragged me back.
You seem to have a very nice home. What are you running away from?
In less than 2 weeks, I'm expected to leave for college. A place called Claymore.
Claymore. Well, it's one of the best.
I know. But going there was something that forced me to make a decision. If I accept I've committed myself, I decided not to accept.
Committed yourself to what?
To them, my grandparents. To all they demand of me.
And what's that?
My soul, I guess. Don't laugh, it's true. That's why I've got to get away. If I go to Claymore, that's the end of me.
They demand your soul. Nothing less.
Nothing less. When I was 14, my parents died. We didn't have much money. We had a home. Warm, safe, happy home. Right out of a book. Then suddenly I was a ward of the court. The court handed me over to my grandparents.
Well, I got the impression they love you.
Oh, they do. In their way. And their way is to take everything that's me and change it. Remake it into what they think I ought to be. I can't think the way they think. I can't want what they want, like what they like. We don't even see the same world out there.
I can believe that. But Claymore's a long way off. And a college education is a handy thing in that world out there.
And expensive. And they use money like a weapon. Take this money and walk that line, but oh, step off and the money stops. I wouldn't accept that even if I wanted to walk that line. My mother and father gave me a very special thing. A sense of pride. And I won't let anyone take it. Will you help me, Bob?
To run away? No. Look at me, Kathy. Look at me. Now, nobody as stubborn as you can be remade by anybody. Why don't you think about that a little more?
No. Why don't you think a little more about taking me with you? I just realized something. The reason I don't want you to go without me is I don't want you to go at all.
What are you doing tomorrow night?
You're staying?
A couple of days. I have a small problem I have to solve.
All evening I've been worried you were getting ready to say goodbye forever. Oh, we can go have an early dinner and... What do you mean, small problem?
A problem that's small. Not worth talking about.
You're sure?
I'm sure.
At least you're staying, that's what counts. No matter how young I look, before you leave this town, you're going to admit one thing.
What?
That I'm a woman.
All right, Cliff.
Yeah, how does that feel?
Terrible.
Well, I'd give it a day or two, and if the rib still bothers you, stop off someplace and get it x-rayed.
Why shouldn't I come back to you?
Well, there's no reason, of course, but I rather expected you
I'd be
to.
long gone by then.
Under the circumstances, it would seem the sensible thing to do.
Your sheriff orders me to leave town. Refuses to say why. Then beats me half to death for dragging my feet. Now, it seems to me, Doctor, that as a responsible citizen, you might be able to work up a little moral indignation over a thing like that.
Well, Arcadia, like most towns, has exactly the kind of lawman it deserves. All we want is somebody to keep an eye on the family sober and any potential troublemakers. We say, don't burden us with messy details. Just get the job done with discretion. Oh, that'll be $10. That's my medical fee. There's no charge for the lecture on civic affairs.
What reason would I have for rousting you? You'll have to answer that. I can't. And we're supposed to have worked you over? You certainly don't look it. That Dr. Lewis, he can give you a full report on it.
Ralph, you got any idea what this is all about?
Absolutely not.
He says he was assaulted about 11 o'clock last night. I'm sure you and Morgan can establish where you were at that time.
Keeping an eye on one of the roadhouses east of town.
Anybody see you?
No, we got a phone tip there might be trouble out there. We made it our business not to be seen.
You and I met half an hour ago. These two men I've known for years. Their job is the same as mine, to enforce the law. Now, you've offered no motive to back up your charge, and if I have to take somebody's unsupported word for it, it has to be theirs. Now, a word of friendly advice. Unless you've got some strong reason for remaining here in Arcadia, it might be smart for you to move on.
Are you beginning to sound like the sheriff? No, Mr. Prosecutor, I'm staying. I suddenly developed a righteous feeling that a citizen has got some rights besides paying taxes.
All right? But don't come to me with any more unsupported charges against anyone.
Now, you just tell me why. Tell me why and make me believe it, and I'll be out of this town in 5 minutes. Why don't you just run along and let me get on with my work?
He's going to be trouble, Chief. How about letting me in on this? What's our problem with him?
No problem, Cliff. Cass?
Sure.
Come on, I'll walk along with you. My niece has been telling me that you may not be going to Claymore next week. That true?
Oh, could be. Why?
No, I was just wondering. She was telling me how you feel about being independent. That's a very important thing. Independence may be the most important thing there is.
And maybe the hardest to get.
Yes, indeedy. Independence takes only one thing, Kathy. Money. You know, if you're really serious about going out on your own, I just might be able to help you. Would you like to earn $2,000?
How?
This fellow Paul Bryan. You've seen him a time or two, haven't you?
Yes.
He mean anything to you?
Well, I've only known him 3 days.
Did he tell you why he came here, what he's up to?
No. Why?
Would $2,000 interest you?
It sure would.
It's yours. If you can get Brian to take you for a ride out in the country tonight. After he brings you home, you come down at the station. I'll be there. All you have to do then is swear out a complaint against him for attempted assault.
That's the silliest... I'll do nothing of the kind.
Kathy, let me finish. Nothing will happen to the man. I show him the complaint, tell him it'll be dropped if he gets out of town. He'll be gone before morning.
Why are you so anxious to have him leave Arcadia?
That's not important, not to you. I want him gone, that's all.
What if he doesn't go? How could I go into court and face him with a lie like that?
You go. Whatever he is, he's no fool. Just for the sake of argument, let's say he wants to fight. You can withdraw the complaint any time you want. You have my word on it. As a matter of fact, I couldn't stop you. $2,000. give up. Where are we driving?
Oh, it's such a beautiful night, Paul. Let's just follow the road a while.
All right, I'll drive. You point out the historic shrine.
Paul, have you ever been to Arcadia before?
No, why?
Do you know anyone here?
Only you. Why?
Don't you know Sheriff Trumbull?
Oh, come on, Kathy. What's on your mind? What about Trumbull?
Well, he stopped me today, Paul. He asked about you. Why you're here, how long you're planning to stay. Things like that. He seems to want you out of Arcadia. Why?
I don't know. He does want me out, all right.
That doesn't make sense, does it?
At the moment, no. At first, I thought he was a small-town sheriff who was using his badge for kicks. But it isn't that. It can't be a personal vendetta. It goes deeper than that. And I'm not about to leave this town until I know the answer. Now, what about your family? They have any connection with Trumbull?
No. They don't like him very much. He's a favorite of our local newspaper, which supports the party my grandparents don't approve of. There's one nice thing about it. It's keeping you here. Well, there's a road up ahead. Turn right.
There's something interesting on that road?
No. Just a lonely, hardly used old road.
Now, does it go anywhere, or does it just stay lonely?
Just stays lonely for about 18 miles. And then it widens for a minute at a little town called Brookfield.
Thanks. I'll have a cup of the same, Millie.
Sure thing, Sheriff.
Jim. Mind sitting for a minute? Why? To discuss a warrant I have here for your arrest. On what charge? Attempted assault. Against Captain Sloan. Hey, you expect me to believe that? She signed a formal complaint a half hour ago. Warrant couldn't have been issued without it. Personally, I'd like to see you get 20 years, but if this comes out, Kathy's the one to be hurt. So I'll make you a deal. Hit the road. I don't serve the warrant. Nobody gets hurt. Sorry, Sheriff. I'm staying. You out of your mind. One of us is. All right, fella. You're under arrest.
Paul Bryan, to the aforementioned charge, how say you? Guilty or not guilty?
Mr. Bryan, since you want to be your own lawyer, all we're here for today is to tell you the charges and ask you to enter a plea. You got that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now you just tell us whether you're guilty or not guilty.
Not guilty.
So entered. Joe, before I set a trial date, are you going to oppose bail?
If Your Honor, please. I think I can save the county the trouble and expense of a trial here and now.
How?
By producing a witness whose testimony will refute the charge against me.
That witness in court?
He is, Your Honor.
Joe, how about it? You got any objection to make?
People have no objection, Judge, reserving the right to cross-examine.
Brian, bring your witness up here.
Mr. Hardy.
Any idea what he's up to?
No.
Raise your right hand.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
State your name and address.
John Hardy, live over in Brookfield.
You may sit down.
Your occupation, Mr. Hardy?
Well, I've got a bowling alley.
And how far is Brookfield from Arcadia?
18 miles.
Will you tell the court when and where you first saw me?
Yeah, it was last night, about 8:30. He come into my place of business.
Did I come there alone?
No, you had a girl with you.
And what, if anything, did we do?
Well, it's a bowling alley. You bowled.
Now, did anything unusual occur that evening?
Well, nothing you'd call big. This girl that was with you, she kind of fainted there once.
Would you describe the incident, please?
Well, now, it wasn't so much that she actually fainted. It was more like a dizzy spell. Well, anyway, everyone in the place kind of crowded around. I went and got her a glass of water, and...
Now, wait a moment, Mr. Hardy. You said everyone crowded around.
Well, yeah, the other bowlers in the place. 8, 10 couples, I'd say.
What time was that?
10:30, maybe a little bit earlier.
At what time would you say the young lady and I left your bowling alley?
I was around midnight.
Mr. Hardy, will you look at this snapshot and tell us if you've ever seen the young woman in it?
Kathy Sloan lied to you, Ralph. Why?
Yeah, that's the girl that was with you last night.
You know her name?
Well, I heard you call her Kathy a time or two. Let me see that picture. Joe, come up here.
All right, Andy. I move to dismiss.
About time, I'd say. I want to see you and Ralph Trumbull in my office right now. On motion of the prosecution, the case against Paul Bryan is dismissed. This court stands adjourned. She signed that complaint, knowing he could shoot it full of holes. I want to know why, Ralph. What's going on?
I'll need a little time, Judge, to find out.
You don't have to find out. You already know. Kathy Sloan set you up. Now, why? Are you going to tell us, or do we bring her down here and charge her with making a false complaint?
Joe, do me a favor. Drop the whole thing, please.
We'll do that, Ralph. We'll bury it, and I'll tell you why. There are a lot of office holders in this county that belong to our party. Honest, capable men. This could hurt them. It could hurt all of us. Now, unless we've got more luck than we have any right to expect, it still can. You might as well hear this now as later. When we make up the ticket for the next election, you won't be on it.
If you're going to kiss me, I'd like you to be here when it happens.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have things on my mind. I'll, be leaving Arcadia in the morning.
But you still don't know why, Sheriff Trumbull?
I just don't have the time.
Time? Well, you said yourself you weren't going any place special. Stay here, Paul. This is a very nice town. It's got me in it.
Now, why didn't I think of that?
When will you be leaving?
Tomorrow. I'll stop off in the morning, say goodbye to your grandparents.
Oh. What do I do now? Give you a big smile and let you take me home?
I'll settle for a friendly kiss.
Well, I won't. Still see a 15-year-old child.
I think you just turned 20.
That'll be $18.75, Mr. Bryan. Mr. Bryan, your bill.
press?
It was about an hour ago.
Why?
I'd like to see the editor.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Courtney's been laid up for most of the week. Touch of the virus.
That man next to Trumbull. Who is he?
Oh, that's David Courtney, sir. He's the owner and the editor of the Bulletin.
Thanks.
I'm on River Road, Chief. Our boy just made a quick stop at the Bulletin office, then came tearing out.
He asked the guy on the street a couple of questions. I got into his car and took off.
Looks like he's headed for Dave Courtney's place.
Over.
Going back to town, Cliff. I'll take over.
I knew you were trouble first time I talked to you.
I asked you a couple of polite questions, that's all. Questions any man in my kind of a job would ask any two-bit drifter every day of the week. Don't you ever quit, but you had to make a speech. All about violating your civil rights and how I wasn't going to get away with it. You were right. I didn't get away with it. You cost me everything it took 20 years to build up. And now I'm going to do what I should have done that first night. Take you apart. I'm going to break at least one bone for every one of those 20 years. I almost gave up. Another 5 minutes, I would have been gone. Still wondering what it was all about. But your editor friend Courtney made another stupid mistake. He kept what happened in court yesterday out of his paper. So I went to his office. His picture was on the wall. He looked fine for a man who's been dead for 5 years. Oh, you didn't know? That's really something else, Sheriff. You didn't even know why Courtney wanted me out of town. But his name isn't Courtney. It's Collier. You see, he and his wife were clients of mine. And his private plane went down off the coast one night. And she collected $200,000 on a double indemnity policy. Now, come on. On your feet. We'll go get Collier. Then we'll take a ride down to the county prosecutor's office.
small-town businessman, discounted his bills, made the Bulletin into a real moneymaker.
Yeah, he had a newspaper in Oakland, too, but that one was losing money. And his marriage was coming apart. So he and his wife let the insurance company solve their problem, and then they went their separate ways.
Goodbye, Mr. Bryan. Thank you.
Pleasure.
If you're ever this way again, I hope you'll drop in and see us.
Goodbye, Kathy.
Goodbye.
You know, you and I haven't had time to talk about, your plans, what you're gonna do.
If you want the truth, I think we've talked too much. So if you're going to go, just kiss me goodbye and go. Oh, please don't go. You know, don't you, that I love you?
Do you? Well, now. If you love me, prove it to me. Go to Claymore. Kathy, nobody can take your soul, and nobody can break your spirit. Goodbye.
I'll go to Claymore. But only if you promise to write to me once a month for as long as I'm there.
I'll write to you once a month for as long as I live.